What's up, beautiful besties? I'm coming at you today on the Lionsgate, in the Lionsgate portal right now. And we're coming in with a twin flame reading, a check-in. Spirit's really been guiding me towards doing one of these. So if you are one of our OG members here in the tribe, this one is for you if you are interested, because honestly, I have been feeling this powerful shift happening right now. Whether you're, trying to block it out or you've been wide open to it, maybe you can feel it too. It's about that soul connection, and I feel like it is really stirring again. The energy between you and your twin, I feel like it's really pulling, and it's lighting up from somewhere deep beyond the veil, I'll have to say, okay? So it's kind of like the universe has cracked something open, and I feel like now all these emotions that were buried and hidden or even denied are coming flooding in. Okay, so this reading is going to be for you if you have been dreaming about your counterpart recently, okay, very recently. Maybe you felt their presence, maybe so close it made, maybe it took your breath away. Okay, I'm picking up on you could have been like maybe even spiraling a little bit here, a little unsure of what you're picking up, if it's real or not, or if it's just maybe an old wound that is echoing through this portal, okay? But here's what I'm seeing, okay? And before I even bring the sound bowl and get into it, there's one counterpart here who is rising, okay? And the other one is remembering right now, okay? So one of you has been doing the work, right? Confronting shadows and healing wounds and really learning how to stand alone, but not closed off, okay? And the other one has been resisting, I feel like, until now, really, because this portal, this 8/8 Lionsgate portal, it's not just about manifestation. It is a mirror, okay, and it's showing both of you who you truly are. Maybe even who you were pretending to be, and who you could become, right? If you are willing to meet each other again from this new level of consciousness, okay? So if you are feeling this pull as well, maybe a little pressure, maybe some heat, okay? You're not imagining it. This connection is being lit up from the inside out, okay? And whether there's a reunion ahead or just this like final reckoning, the truth is really surfacing right now. So we're going to have a look at what's coming through for both counterparts in this reading. Okay, so I'm just going to actually adjust my camera a little bit because it's a bit off and it's bugging me. I'm going to bring the sound bowl. I'm going to call in spirit and we will get into the questions here. Okay. And just a little bit of a warning for my crew over here that is wearing headphones. Just, it's going to be loud. Okay. It's going to be loud. Here we go. Okay. I'm calling on spirit with so much love and so much gratitude. I ask for divine guidance as I interpret these messages. May they help us all on our journey towards our highest and greatest good. I'm asking for love, joy, peace, abundance, and protection for myself, for you, and for all beings on the planet at this time. Thank you so much, Spirit. Okay, I'm going to get into the question. If y'all notice my little bandage here, it's because my kitty attacked me pretty decent, and yeah, it needs some healing. Anyways, we are going to start with checking in on the Divine Masculine and seeing what energy they are currently in at this time during this Lionsgate portal. Okay. I don't usually even publish a reading today on this channel, but Spirit said, do it, do it. So here we are. Okay, what's going on with the Divine Masculine right now, please, Spirit? And then we will be alternating Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine energies. Okay, we have the Five of Pentacles. We have, there's the Divine Masculine right there, the Emperor. Then we have the Seven of Wands. All right. Okay, so the Divine Masculine right now, they are definitely going through it with this energy. The Five of Pentacles really, it's not subtle, okay? This is someone who is feeling shut out, abandoned, maybe even rejected by the universe, okay? Like they're standing on the outside of something they actually really, really want, but they don't know how to reach for it or even if they deserve it, okay? And then, of course, we have the Emperor, which, you know, hello, it's literally the Divine Masculine energy. And so I feel like they're really trying so hard to hold it all together right now, to stay in control, to act like they're calm and composed and in charge. But it really is all armor, okay? Because underneath this stoic, I got this kind of exterior, it's that Five of Pentacles, right? That sadness, that loneliness, that fear of not being enough, okay? And with the Seven of Wands, I mean, you better believe they're defensive right now, okay? This energy, this is the energy really of somebody who is concerned, okay? Trying to protect themselves, pushing people away, maybe even pushing you out energetically, okay? And not because they don't care, okay, but because they don't feel safe. So this portal is really rattling their foundation right now. Everything that they've been clinging to, you know, their identity, the pride, any old beliefs, it really is all being tested, okay? So while they may look like they're standing tall, their soul is basically on its knees, okay? So this is like a crack in the mask, okay? And this is where Spirit is really starting to shine through, okay? But we're going to go ahead now and we're going to basically ask the same thing for the Divine Feminine, and see what's going on with the Divine Feminine. You know, how is the Divine Feminine feeling or being affected right now with this Lionsgate Portal energy? I'm just going to move this over here actually and kind of lay it out differently so I've got room. Okay, how is the Divine Feminine feeling or really being affected right now? Oh yeah, we have the Three of Swords. We have the Queen of Swords. I'm not surprised with that energy. And then we also have the Five of Swords. A lot of swords. Okay, Divine Feminine. This is, this portal is definitely bringing up some real emotions, okay? We've got the Three of Swords here to start, which tells me that there's still some deep hurt lingering here. It doesn't feel brand new, okay? It really feels like pain that's been pushed down for a very long time. But the Lionsgate portal is really shining a light on it right now. And suddenly, you know, it's like it's all coming back up again, okay? And the Queen of Swords here, you know, it's a big deal, because this is clarity and it is somebody who's not letting their heart lead them into the same kind of trap again, okay? This is someone who has learned, they have seen the truth, and they are no longer willing to soften just to keep the peace, okay? They definitely have a lot of very strong boundaries. And then we have the Five of Swords, which is giving like, I can't really keep doing this kind of energy, okay? So this is someone who knows that they were pulled into something very unfair, like some kind of emotional game or that hot and cold energy, maybe even manipulation or silence, you know, whatever it was. You know, they really see it for what it was now, right? So the Divine Feminine is feeling exhausted, but clear, maybe still hurting, okay, but definitely no longer confused, okay? So they have their boundaries up and they are protecting their peace. And even though it stings to let go of the version of the connection that they once believed in, they know that they can't keep showing up for someone who refuses to meet them in truth. Okay, so this portal is really helping them cut cords that were tied to any illusions, and really choosing themselves, even if it is bittersweet. Okay, so what's going on with the masculine, what's going on with the feminine? I feel like it's a little bit interesting because we do have defensive energy on both sides of this counterpart situation at the moment. Okay, heading into this portal. So let me go ahead and ask, what is coming up in the divine masculine's heart right now? What is coming up in the divine masculine's heart right now? You know, what is the divine masculine feeling? Okay, we have the Four of Swords. The Page of Pentacles. The Three of Cups. And then we also have, I have to take that because it was sticking out of the deck, the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So emotionally, right now, the divine masculine is in a little bit of a pause. Okay. We've got the Four of Swords here, and that's like deep rest and deep reflection. Okay, so it's not avoidance. It's not avoidance. It is healing, actually, but it's also quiet. Okay, so it's someone who's really been through the emotional ringer, okay, and really needs a second to catch their breath. Okay, they might not be talking right now, but definitely make no mistake, they are thinking, and they're thinking a lot. Okay, the Page of Pentacles here, it really tells me that there is a desire in their heart to start again, okay, but from scratch. Okay, so it's not really like a big declaration or any kind of grand gesture vibe. This is just a small, honest step forward. Okay, and they're wondering, you know, what would it look like to rebuild trust, to show up differently. It's definitely, it's not confident energy. It is vulnerable. Okay, it's very vulnerable. It's tender, and definitely a little bit unsure. Okay, and then with the Three of Cups here, it's a little tricky because I feel like on one hand, you know, this could be them longing for joy again, you know, missing the good times, the connection, and the friendship that used to be there. But it can also hint at a little bit of interference. Okay. You know, whether it's an outside influence or any kind of distraction, or, you know, people who kept them emotionally pulled away from what really mattered here. So there's a little bit of like emotional noise happening, but underneath it all, there is this heart that really wants peace. Okay. And under the deck with the Eight of Pentacles, you know, it really tells me that they are seriously thinking about what it would take to do the work, okay, to fix it, to grow, to actually show up differently than they have before. Okay, so emotionally, they're not where they were. Okay, they are softening, and reflecting. Okay, and maybe, you know, just maybe, right, considering how to make things right. Okay, between the two of you. All right. And so I want to go back to the divine feminine because the divine feminine was seeing something very clearly. And I want a little bit of clarification on what the divine feminine is starting to like fully accept now or seeing clearly. Okay. So what is this? What is the divine feminine starting to see very clearly and starting to accept now in this whole situation? Oh, okay. That's interesting because seeing clearly, and we're getting the Seven of Cups. That's, let me see what else comes up here. Two of Swords. More of this, like, I don't want to see anything kind of energy. We have the King of Wands. What's at the bottom of the deck? I've got the Hierophant. Okay, this is interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So what it really is giving is like for the divine feminine is like I s- I see it, but I don't really want to deal with it yet. Kind of vibe, okay? Because with the 7 of cups, and the 2 of swords, I feel like there's like a lot of, again, with the emotional noise coming out or like mental fog, okay, and maybe even a little bit of denial going on. Not full on pretending that nothing happened, but more like if I don't make a decision, I don't have to feel the disappointment kind of a energy that I'm picking up on. There's this sense of like, I know the truth is right in front of me, but it's complicated and I'm tired. Okay. Um, and then, we have the King of Wands here showing up. And I feel like, again, this is interesting because it can represent the divine masculine energy, that the feminine is connected to, right? Or it can be also a mirror. For many tuning in here, it really feels like a waking up that's happening like to a pattern, okay? Um, the charisma, the attraction, the potential, the promise, okay, of who someone could be, not necessarily who they've actually been, okay? So it's a moment of realizing like I was in love with the idea of who they could become, but I'm not sure that they've really stepped into that yet. Okay. And with the Hierophant also sitting right here, um, this truth cut is cutting a little bit deeper right now because it is about values and alignment and real commitment. Okay. A lot of divine feminine energy right now is realizing, maybe for the first time, that spiritual connection, the soul bond, the intensity, right? It's not enough if it's not grounded in something real, right? So, what are they starting to accept right now? It's that holding on to potential isn't the same as having a partner, okay? And that love without the truth, right, is not sustainable, okay? So, and that sometimes, I mean, the most spiritual thing that you can do is walk away from something that isn't evolving, right? So, they may not want to look at it fully just yet, but the truth, is it's starting to shine through some of the cracks here, especially during this portal. So, my next question is going back to the divine masculine, and asking if, they're planning to actually do anything or are they still holding back, So, let's find out because they were, thinking about putting in some work here, or, previously. So, let's find out. Is the divine masculine planning to do anything or are they still holding back during this Lionsgate portal? Is the divine masculine planning to do anything or are they still holding back? Oh, we have the Eight of Wands. Okay. The Eight of Cups. 2 8s. 8 8. Interesting. Lionsgate 8 8. Okay. And we have the Six of Pentacles, and underneath the deck, I also have the King of Cups. Now, I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to pop the King of Cups right there. Okay. Okay. So here's, actually, we have 3 8s. Here's the 8 of, sorry, I just distracted. We have 3 8s out. That's okay. Here's where things get a little bit complicated with this energy here, okay? Because with the 8 of Wands, which usually means forward movement, fast communication, reaching out, something starting to stir. So yeah, on one level, there's a desire to move toward the divine feminine. It's definitely here. It's not just a maybe. It's definitely present in their energy. They want to close the distance. Okay, they want to close the distance right now. But then, I mean, we have the Eight of Cups right after, and this is where it gets real because just as strongly as they feel the pull to come forward, they're also feeling the urge to walk away, right? Not necessarily from you or the divine feminine, whoever's tuning into this reading. I'm trying to keep it so it could be for any counterpart here. But from, all the emotional chaos that they've created or that they've been stuck in. Okay. So it's not really somebody who knows exactly what they're doing right now. This is someone really bouncing in between, should I message them? And then, no, I need more time to figure myself out. Okay. So it's hot and cold. It's yes and no. It's wanting connection, but fearing the weight of it. But then we have the Six of Pentacles, which tells me that they do want to bring some kind of balance back in, right? They know that they weren't giving enough. They know the energy wasn't equal, and they want to show up with something more solid, okay? But they're still trying to figure out how, okay? The King of Cups under the deck, though, I mean, that is big, okay? This is somebody who feels very deeply, like probably way more than they're letting on, okay? But they're also trying to control it, to contain it, and keep it hidden so they don't drown in it, okay? So they might not be ready to act today, but do not be fooled. They are feeling everything, okay? And this portal is really pushing them to make a choice that they've been avoiding, okay, for a very long time. So are they planning to do something? Emotionally, yes. Energetically, also yes. But physically, I feel like they're still sitting at this internal crossroads, okay? It's not a no, but right now it's not a full yes either, and I want to say yet, okay? I want to actually ask now, what does the divine feminine feel from them, from the divine masculine right now, even if they're not trying to, okay? So what is the divine feminine picking up on during this portal? What are they feeling from them? Again, even if the divine feminine's trying not to, okay? Let's see. What is the divine feminine feeling from their masculine at the moment? What is the divine feminine feeling from the masculine at the moment? And then I'll tune into any guidance, spiritual guidance for anyone tuning into this reading, whether you're feminine or masculine. Or maybe I'll do both. Okay. We have the Ace of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Knight of Wands, the King of Swords under the deck. Okay, I know we're getting a lot of cards out here, I hope you can follow along. So here's the thing. The divine feminine right now is definitely picking up on the masculine's energy. Like the cord is still active. Okay. So even if they're trying to block it out, okay, with the Ace of Swords, they're feeling some kind of mental clarity. Like, I know what this is. I see the pattern. I'm not pretending anymore. They might be getting flashes or downloads with some random waves of truth coming through out of nowhere. It's very, I just know energy, okay? And then we have the Two of Wands, which that's that moment kind of like, it's kind of like a pause. They're standing at a crossroads within themselves, definitely not rushing to act on what they're feeling. And there's a big difference between feeling the connection and actually doing something about it, okay? But I feel like the key card here is the Knight of Wands. And this is what they feel coming from the masculine, okay? It's hot, it's fast, it's impulsive, it's like come in hot and disappear just as fast energy. And honestly, the feminine is assuming that the masculine still wants what they've always wanted, like a hit of passion without the depth, perhaps, okay? And under the deck with the King of Swords, and I feel like that's just this confirmation that they feel like the masculine is still maybe cold or guarded, or maybe just calculated, or just emotionally unavailable or something like that, right? So even if there's feelings here or there, which they are, I mean, they assume it's not safe to trust that anymore. It doesn't mean the feminine's right, okay? It means that they are protecting themselves right now. So they've been through too much, okay, to open the door again for any kind of like half effort or high heat or low follow through kind of energy, right? So even if they feel the masculine reaching out, even if they know something is stirring, they're assuming that it's more of the same. Okay. And they're not interested in getting burned again. Okay. And I mean, that it tracks, right? It definitely tracks. So, my next question, is going to be, what is Spirit's guidance for the divine masculine, if that's who you resonate with being in this reading? Because honestly, I'm keeping it so neutral, and because, I mean, we don't know who's tuning in, right? So, what is the Spirit's guidance for the divine masculine at the moment? We have the Seven of Swords, okay. And the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm just going to shuffle for the divine feminine too, and then I'll read it all out. I'll read the energy all together. Okay. For the feminine, Spirit's guidance for the feminine. It's this one wants to come out. And then I will get one for overall. Ten of Cups. Interesting. Okay. I can't ignore this. It's going to the overall. Four of Wands. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to take, a quick look at what Spirit has to say and hear both sides, right, before we wrap this reading up. Starting with the divine masculine, with the Seven of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, Spirit's basically saying, like, it's time to stop running from the truth, okay? This is about patterns and cycles, the lies that we tell ourselves just to stay comfortable, right? The masculine may have been avoiding accountability or, hiding how they really feel, but Spirit's really making it clear right now that cycle is coming to an end, okay? Ready or not, change is here, right? And what they do with that truth, that's going to determine everything moving forward. Now, for the divine feminine, we've got the Page of Wands, we have the Five of Wands, and, this feels like an invitation to move differently. The Spirit's saying, like, you've already been through enough, like, inner conflict. You don't need to carry theirs as well, okay? You are being guided to follow your curiosity, explore really what lights you up, and stop internalizing, every energetic shift that comes from your counterpart. Okay, let them figure themselves out, okay, because you've got magic to create, okay. And then, look, we can't ignore this, right? We have the Ten of Cups, we have the Four of Wands, and this is coming through as that shared energy between you both. And this is the dream, right? This is soul union, the stable foundation, right? The spiritual and emotional fulfillment, right? So yeah, I mean, it's still in the field here. But the question is, will both counterparts be ready at the same time? Okay, because that's the only way that this works, right? So for those of you, who are really picking up on this portal energy, and for those of you who are sensing that something big is shifting behind the scenes, right? We are going to take this to an extended reading, and we're going to focus entirely on the divine masculine from this point forward, because the majority of our audience here, our viewers, are definitely divine feminine. I know that. So we're going to find out, what they're thinking, what they're hiding, what they're planning next, and whether they're finally ready to face this connection head on, okay? And I'll just say this, the Wheel of Fortune and the Seven of Swords, there's no more hiding. There's no more hiding, right? And there's a lot more behind that mask than they're letting on, okay? And I feel like Spirit is about to, pull the curtain back, and that's what I really want to get into. So if you're here for it, the link will be placed in the comments, pinned to the top of the comments. I do always thank and appreciate, and I'm very grateful for anyone who does offer energy exchange in that way, as it really does help support the work that I do. And it continues to allow me to provide these free readings here on YouTube as well. So I'm sending you all the love. Thank you for being here with me. And I hope you have an excellent Lionsgate portal. And if you are interested in more of an empowering type of Lionsgate message that is centered on the divine feminine experience, you can certainly go check out the reading that is posted on the Divine Feminist channel, and I will link to that either in the comments or as well in my community, like the community board section of my channel here. Okay, so sending you lots of love. There's a lot of readings, a lot of information on this Lionsgate portal, enough for everyone. Okay, sending you lots of love. Take care and have a blessed day.